Okay, so um, we watched the video about worldview, and you answer to the question. And actually, there was great segue to talk about the 7 questions. Right. So when we try to know someone's worldview, we try to answer these important foundational question. So there are actually a lot of questions, but let's in this course I just introduced these 7 questions. So what is the nature? Let's see a little bit go closer. So including yourself or someone else, or when you go to different country or different culture, if you want to learn why they do what they do, this is kind of question that you can ask that would help you to understand the culture or person. First of all, what is the nature of reality? What is real? We are going to talk about and focusing on this question later more, but let's continue and see what kind of question that we have. Second, who or what is God? Is there God? And if there is, who is he or she? What kind of being is he? So that is second question. Third, who is a man? What is mankind? What is human being? And actually, all these questions you try to answer, right? Probably some of you are like, I have never thought about this kind of question, and sometimes I really don't care. But as I said, foundation is important for understanding who you are, how you function, how you make decisions, what you value. Next question, what is the basis of morality? How do you know what is right, what is wrong? Do you know what is right or wrong? Based on what? Everybody has some kind of sense of this is right or this is wrong, but it depends on your worldview, how you see the world, then you would make that decision. This is right or wrong. Am I doing good? Am I living a good life? What does it mean being good? Or a good life, what does that mean to you? Next question, what happened to human at death? After you die, that's it? Or is there anything else? Or are you going to born again with some different as an animal or a different person over and over? Or is that is it? It's game over? Or you have a soul that would go to heaven or hell? So it depends how you see it. So these are also questions. What is the purpose of human history? Why, like, all these things happen like thousands of years, and what is the purpose of it? Is there a purpose? And with that being said, why are we here and where are we going? Actually, are we going somewhere or not? So these are the 7 fundamental or foundational questions that we are going to talk about. And particularly, we are going to tackle in what is real. What is real?
Ponder this, my friends. If you were born inside of a box with the thought of a world outside it, a world that is more real, ever enter your mind? Considered one of philosophy's greatest writers, Plato asked just this sort of question in his famous Allegory of the Cave. Imagine a group of people born into a cave, chained by their legs and necks facing the back wall. The only thing they can see are shadows cast by a fire behind them. And since they've never seen the actual objects, they think the shadows are real. But what would happen if one of the prisoners were to be set free? When he turns round and sees the objects, will he know that the shadows are a lesser copy of reality? And when he eventually leaves the cave and sees the sun and nature for the first time, would his mind not be completely blown? But wait a sec. If the objects are more real than the shadows, how do we know there isn't something more real than the objects? The ultimate reality is what Plato calls the realm of the forms. It is eternal, unchangeable. It is the realm of being, of what is. Our world, on the other hand, is the world of becoming, of change and what we perceive, where everything is constantly becoming something else. Just as the shadow of an object is a faded copy of the actual object, the world as we perceive it consists of imperfect copies of the forms. After experiencing a higher truth, what would happen if the prisoner returned to the cave? Plato muses that telling the others of the greater reality would threaten their narrow beliefs. If they could, they might even kill him. Will we as humans ever be able to lose our shackles of perception and truly know reality?
So there are two elements component in reality: matter and spirit. Plato believed the spiritual realm is the real. So let's see. There's an M, matter, and spirit. Plato, who actually used that analogy in the cave, okay, he thought this spiritual realm over there, the ultimate realm, is the real, and we are just the shadow. So the physical or material realm that we can see, that we experience with taste, is just merely a shadow.
What if we're just assuming that there's a top and there's actually no top?
So that's what I'm saying. So Plato is explained this way, and there are people who agree with him, and also people try to explain, well, actually there is no such a thing there, right? And actually this is a real. So that's good thought. Hold that thought, and then I will go to the next. Okay, good. Plato used word forms to define the ultimate reality. Let's see. Do I have it? So if you look at page 37, this is actually same here. So what is real? We talk about analogy of Plato's analogy. And in the circle, maybe you need to write down matter and spirit. Matter and spirit. Matter and spirit. And Plato believes spiritual is the real, and he used the term form to define the ultimate reality held in the spiritual realm. And like Eric said, there is a guy, is Plato's pupil. So Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. So they are like the founders, the philosophers who brought a lot of foundational thought for entire Greek or Western society. So they are like Plato was pupil of, no. Plato was the disciple or pupil of Socrates, and Aristotle is pupil of Plato. Okay, so he said actually the material realm is the real, which we can see and taste and experience. The spiritual realm does not exist. See, the reality then is measured through that what we can actually experience. Because there's not such a thing in the, like, other than what you can see, what you can experience, you can actually measure it through the physical object and matter. So the world there's no beginning or end, but influenced by mover who is unaware of the physical world that exists and involved with the extended world. So for him, there is such a thing, prime mover. He is not aware of this world, and also not involved. But that's it. That's how Aristotle tried to explain about this world. Are you with me? Are you getting it? So let's see. Actually, I can show you a matrix.
You wanted to know what the Matrix is, Neo? Trinity? Try to relax. This will feel a little weird. This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
Right now, we're inside a computer program?
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.